Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences, and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today is commemorated as International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness. The International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness seeks to promote better awareness and understanding of disarmament issues among the public, especially young people. Since the founding of United Nations, the goal of multilateral disarmament and arms limitation have been central to the organization efforts to maintain international peace and security. Weapons of mass destruction, in particular nuclear weapons, continue to be of primary concern owing to their destructive power and the threat that they pose to humanity. The excessive accumulation in conventional weapons and the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons jeopardizes international peace and security and sustainable development. While the use of explosive weapons in populated areas is seriously endangering civilians, new and emerging weapon technologies such as autonomous weapons pose a challenge to global security and have received increased attention from the international community in recent years. Observation on 5th March, the International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness plays a role in deepening the global public understanding about how disarmament efforts contribute to enhancing peace and security, preventing and ending armed conflicts, and curbing human suffering caused by weapons. Through Resolution 77 by 51, the General Assembly invites all member states, the organizations of the United Nations system, civil society, academia, the media, and the individuals to commemorate the International Day, including through all means of educational and public awareness raising activities. In 2022, global military spending reached 2.24 trillion. 12,500 plus nuclear weapons remain an existential threat to humanity today. 26,000 people can be treated for malaria for price of one battle tank. The Office of Disarmament Affairs supports multilateral efforts aimed at achieving the ultimate goal of general and complete disarmament under strict and effective international control. The office also works to address humanitarian impact of major conventional weapons and emerging weapon technologies such as autonomous weapons, as these issues have received increased attention from the international community. As the Secretary General stressed in his disarmament agenda, Securing Our Common Future, launched on May 20, 2018, disarmament and non-proliferation must be at the center of the work of the United Nations and an integral part of our common efforts for peace and security. Outlining a set of practical measures across the entire range of disarmament issues, including weapons of mass destruction, conventional arms, and future weapon technologies, the agenda focuses on disarmament as a critical tool to maintain international peace and security, uphold the principles of humanity, protect civilians, promote sustainable development, and prevent and end armed conflict. The second International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness comes at a perilous moment, marked by the rising levels of military spending, deepening geopolitical tensions, and growing violent conflicts across the globe. Meanwhile, some leaders are using apocalyptic rhetoric on the use of nuclear weapons. The proliferation of illicit small arms and light weapons, the use of explosive devices in populated areas, and the growing military application of new and emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, are also serious concerns. Today reminds us that the disarmament and non-proliferation are critical not only to a peaceful future, but also to our existence, very existence. Global leaders must invest in strengthening the systems and tools that prevent the proliferation and use of deadly weapons, including the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, and by developing disarmament solutions. The proposed new agenda for peace includes new strategies and approaches to eliminate the threats posed by nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons and other emerging dangers such as autonomous weapon systems. On this important day, let us speak with one loud, clear, and united voice. It's time to stop the madness. We need disarmament now, as quoted by Antonio Guterres. Securing Our Common Future, which is an agenda for disarmament. In 2018, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres launched Securing Our Common Future, an agenda for disarmament outlining a vision of disarmament actions that helps set our world on a path towards sustainable peace and security for all. The Secretary General called for the fresh perspectives and renewed cooperation against the backdrop of deteriorating international security environment, new risks, and unfilled commitments. His agenda for disarmament defines four key pillars with practical measures to be achieved through stronger partnerships and unwavering determination. Disarmament that saves humanity by endeavoring for a world free of nuclear weapons, strengthening norms against other weapons of mass destruction, and preventing the emergence of new domains of strategic competition, and conflict. Disarmament that saves lives by mitigating the humanitarian impact of conventional arms and addressing the excessive accumulation and illicit trade. Disarmament for future generations by ensuring responsible innovation and use of advances in science and technology, keeping humans in control of weapons and artificial intelligence, and ensuring peace and stability in cyberspace, strengthening partnerships for disarmament by reinvigorating disarmament institutions and process, engaging regional organizations, ensuring the full and equal participation of women and empowering youth as a force for change, and enhancing participation by civil society and engagement by the private sector. The General Secretary agendas for disarmament further recognizes the important contribution of disarmament and arms control to achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The Agenda for Disarmament addresses six different sustainable development goals through nine actions. Disarmament and arms control remain inextricably connected with development in a multitude of ways, providing a unique opportunity to advance both the implementation of SDGs and agenda for disarmament. Let's watch a short video.
les dépenses militaires s'accroissent et la course aux armements s'accélère au niveau mondial, notamment dans les régions les plus dangereuses. Disarmament concerns every country and all weapons, from hand grenades to hydrogen bombs. Deadly weapons put us all at risk, and leaders have a responsibility to minimize that risk. I appeal to all states, including non-parties, to adhere to the non-proliferation and disarmament obligations and commitments under the NPT. All states, nuclear and non-nuclear, must work together to bridge the gulf that divides them. As armed conflict has moved from open fields into cities, explosive weapons are particularly deadly for civilians. And these weapons also have a devastating effect on hospitals, schools, and water and electricity supplies. If there is a major outbreak of armed conflict in our world, and we all hope there is not, I'm sure that it would be preceded by a massive cyber attack. And I'm prepared to make available my good offices to prevent conflict resulting from acts committed in cyberspace. And social media offers unprecedented tools to connect, to reach across borders, and join with others around the world through campaigns, non-governmental organizations, and online communities. The United Nations would like to work with you to help you acquire the knowledge and skills to amplify your voices and lead the change we need. Disarmament prevents and ends violence. Disarmament supports sustainable development. And disarmament is true to our values and principles.
The UN and the nuclear age were born simultaneously, almost. The horror of the Second World War, culminating into the nuclear blasts of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, brought home the need to address the nuclear issue. By its first resolution, the General Assembly established the UN Atomic Energy Commission to deal with the problems raised by the discovery of atomic energy, and a landmark address by United States President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1953. Atoms for Peace led to the establishment in 1957 the International Atomic Energy Agency. widely known as World's Atoms for Peace and Development Organization within the United Nations family. The International Atomic Energy Agency, in short known as IAEA, is the International Center for Cooperation in the Nuclear Field. The agency works with its member states and multiple partners worldwide to promote the safe, secure, peaceful use of nuclear technologies. The IAEA was created in 1957 in response to the deep fears and expectations generated by the discoveries and diverse uses of nuclear technology. The agency genesis was US President Eisenhower's Atoms for Peace address to the General Assembly of the United Nations on 8 December 1950. The US ratification of the state statute by President Eisenhower 29 July 1957 marks the official birth of the International Atomic Energy Agency. In the press conference following the signing ceremony in the Rose Garden of the White House in Washington, D.C., President Eisenhower evoked his address to the UN General Assembly in December 1953, at which he had proposed to establish the IAEA. In fact, we did no more than crystallize a hope that was developing in many minds in many places. The splitting of the atom may lead to the unifying of entire divided world. The IAEA is strongly linked to nuclear technology and its controversial applications, either as a weapon or a practical and useful tool. The ideas President Eisenhower expressed in his speech in 1953 helped shape the IAEA statute, which 81 nations unanimously approved in October 1956. The agency was set up as the world's Atom for Peace organization within the United Nations family. From the beginning, it was given mandate to work with its member states and multiple partners worldwide to promote safe, secure, and peaceful nuclear technologies. The objectives of the IAEA's dual mission is to promote and control the atom are defined in Article 2 of the IAEA statute. The agency shall seek to accelerate and enlarge contribution of atoms' energy to peace, health, and prosperity throughout the world. It shall ensure, so far as it is able, that assistance provided by it or its request or under its supervision or control is not used in such a way as further any military purpose. In October 1957, the delegates of the First General Conference decided to establish the IAEA's headquarters in Vienna, Austria. Until the opening of the Vienna International Center in August 1979, the old Grand Hotel next to the Vienna Opera House served as the agency's temporary headquarters. The IAEA has also two regional offices located in Toronto, Canada since 1979 and Tokyo, Japan since 1984, as well as two liaising offices in New York, United States of America since 1957 and Geneva, Switzerland since 1965. The agency runs laboratories specialized in nuclear technology in Vienna and Cybersdorf, Austria, opened in 1961 and since 1961 in Monaco. Today is also commemorated as International Open Data Day in US. If you believe all kinds of data should be accessible to everyone, then the International Open Data Day, which takes place on a date set yearly by the Open Data Organization, is just for you. This year it takes place on March 5th. Open data is a concept that is grounded in data being free and accessible to everyone at any given time. This day was created over a decade ago with the aim of celebrating the use of open data all over the world. Before we talk about the day itself, we have to give a quick, deeper understanding of the concept of open data. With technology transcending as the days go by and our lives are becoming more on display, the important data we need seems to be more hidden. The open data concept seeks to eradicate that entirely. Open data is the ideology that some data should be free and easily accessible, as well as being available for use and republishing by anyone without copyright or patent restriction. Simply put, the open data concept allows the free access and use of data. The type of data being considered can range from maps or scientific formulae to very important data like medical data and open government data, in short known as OGT. This automatically means that this concept can be used for just as much harm as it can for good. However, advocates of open data encourage free access and reuse of this data with no restrictions but control of the type of reuse, thereby eradicating the possibility of important data being used for wrong reasons. It first appeared in 1995 but had been a topic of conversation in the research world. Long before that, researchers, scientists, analysts, and developers believed that open access to data will create an increase in productivity in the fields of science and technology. This is because people from all over the world will be freely able to see and reuse data to expand research in these fields. International Open Data Day was proposed and founded in 2010, and since then it has gone a long way to encourage the use of open data in communities. The data is chosen annually by governing group members, and the outputs are open for use and reuse by anyone. Today is also commemorated as Dissociative Identity Disorder Awareness Day on March 5th annually. This day is used to create awareness about DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder. DID people who have DID may feel like they have multiple personalities living in their bodies. These personalities may have different names, ages, genders, and appearances. DID is often misdiagnosed or not diagnosed at all. By raising awareness, the general public can gain a better understanding of the condition. It also helps to create a validation for people with DID. They can accept their multiplicity and share their experiences with others. People with DID are encouraged to share their stories online at events with friends, family, and health professionals. Dissociative Identity Disorder Awareness Day originally started as a National Multiple Disorder Day. Dissociative identity disorder is caused by traumatic events and or abuse occurring in childhood. Abuse can include neglect and the failure to respond to the child. Other early and chronic traumatization can cause it. An example is a medical trauma involving multiple painful and prolonged medical procedures at an early age. It is most prominent when traumas began before the age of 5. When early childhood trauma occurs, it can cause dissociative identity disorder developed by preventing the child from forming a cohesive or unified sense of self during the earliest years. This is what is known as the core personality. Alternate identities are formed when the prolonged trauma causes different behavioral states that are present from birth to become increasingly disconnected from each other. People who have DID may experience memory loss and out of body experiences. Some also experience detachment from sensations and emotions. Developing multiple identities is a coping mechanism that protects the child. It keeps trauma, memories, and emotions contained with specific identities so that they do not overwhelm the child completely. The person may believe that a traumatic event happened to a specific personality and not to them. This allows them to dissociate from the event and not to have to deal with the fact that it had happened. Most studies have helped in the medical community to better understand the disorder. Dissociative identity disorder awareness day sheds light on the disorder and helps those affected. The statistical manual for the use of institutions for the insane refers to the condition as hysterical neurosis since 1918. The condition is referred to as dissociated personality reaction since 1952. The name changes and becomes multiple personality disorder since 1987. The condition is now called dissociative identity disorder since 1994. Some symptoms of DID include confusion, memory loss, and altered mood and mental state. DID can lead to distorted views of the body and a feeling of being unable to recognize oneself in the mirror. DID is usually caused by a past traumatic event, usually occurring in childhood. So explore and find out more about your personality traits. You'll get to learn more about yourself. Take the dissociative test with a friend. You'll see how different people can be and how much they can also have in common. Learn more about dissociative identity disorder. You can also help by sharing the information with others. Women are more likely than men to be diagnosed with DID. It has always been classified as a dissociative disorder and not a personality disorder. Dissociative identity disorder is relatively common and affects between 1% to 3% of the population. Most people with DID have a mix of dissociative and post-traumatic symptoms, which may also include non-trauma related symptoms. People with DID can have amnesia for significant events in the past or events in everyday life. It helps spread information about DID. This allows more people to know about how to manage the disorder. It empowers people, creates awareness. It allows people affected by the disorder to share their stories, and this empowers them. Others will also accept those who have DID, which creates understanding. It creates validation, as education is key to understanding. The more educated the public is about the condition, the more it creates general validation. Today is also commemorated as World Information Architecture Day in US, which is a one-day celebration held every March 5th by volunteers in numerous locations to inspire global discussion about information architecture, in short known as IA, and its application in our everyday lives. It's a day to learn about the structure of IA and how we can connect to make it easy for people to find, understand, and use information they need. Actually, we are already involved in the practice of IA. For example, the web navigation that you see when you visit National Today or any other sites like National Geographic or any other website is a practice of IA. There are numerous definitions of information architecture depending on the field. Richard Saul Berman, an architect and a graphic designer, first used the word information and architecture together in 1976. According to the Burman, an information architect is the individual who organizes the patterns inherent in data, making the complex clear, a person who creates the structure or map of the information, which allows others to find their personal paths to knowledge. The emerging 21st century professional occupation addressing the needs of the age focuses for those definitions, we can conclude that IA is the arrangement of patterns essential in data to make information understandable. It is a structure or map of facts that enable people to search for specific information they need. IA also a means to address the needs of an era where clarity, human understanding, as well as the science of organizing information are the priority. It is the action of making information findable. One example is a web navigation on a website that helps us find specific information. Web navigation is not the same as IA, but it is one of the implementations of IA. In a world, in a world where so much information is at our fingertips, IA can help us sort out which ones are credible and which are disinformation. It makes it easier for us to find relevant information that we need and to understand complex matters. It is the information architect's task to make all those people. One of the missions of the World Information Architect Day is to build and connect a global community of advocates and practitioners of IA. Be part of this global community and promote role of IA in different fields. Today is also commemorated as arrival of the first missionaries in New Zealand. The day recognizes missionaries in the spread of Christianity in New Zealand. According to the history, missionaries started their mission in New Zealand in 1814 and often traveled to other countries for the cause of religion and started converting people. These missionaries were influential since they were educated and opted for peaceful methods to spread Christianity. In fact, some of them were also school teachers. Due to the dedication of these missionaries, their arrival into the region is celebrated every year on March 5th. Today is also commemorated as Custom Chiefs Day in Vanuatu, which is annually celebrated as a public holiday on March 5th in the Republic of Vanuatu. It is a day to recognize the National Council of Chiefs of the Malwatu Maori, which was established in 1977 to propose new ways to preserve traditional Vanuatu way of life. The tribal chiefs are elected by members of the district councils of chiefs. Their main role is to advise the government on matters surrounding the culture and indigenous languages of Vanuatu. Although they have no actual legislative power, the government always welcomes their advice. Today is also commemorated as Kyrgyzstan National Hat Day in Kyrgyzstan. Since March 5th, 2011, thanks to the filmmaker E.S. Beck Jabirov's initiative, the Ak Kalpak is a Kyrgyzstan cap that distinguishes the Kyrgyz from other local ethnic groups while also advocating inclusivity. The headwear has been regarded as a de facto national symbol since 2011. Unlike other traditional Kyrgyz clothing, it is still worn by men of all ages in both the city and mountains. Since 2017, March 5th has been recognized as National Ak Kalpak Day. Today is also commemorated as National Absinthe Day in US. To commemorate and celebrate the drink known as green fairy. Absinthe originated in Switzerland in the 18th century and rose popularity in 20th century. France, especially with artists and writers. The drink enjoys a mystic and is often associated with Bohemian culture, making it a especially fun drink to enjoy. But make sure it has no health benefits. As absinthe was long banned in the United States and much of Europe because of its reputation as an addictive hallucinogen, the drink is made up of wormwood, aniseed, and fennel and contains trace amounts of the chemical compound tuzone, which some people said cause psychoactive symptoms. It has been proven to be no more dangerous than ordinary alcohol and has since been legalized. But its reputation lingers, making it seem forbidden and fun. Today is also commemorated as National Chinese Doodle Day in US. Celebrates cheese doodles and all forms they come in, from cheese doodles, cheese puffs, cheese curls, and cheese balls. These tasty snacks are sure to leave fingers bright orange. The process of making these delicious morsels are just as exciting as the snack itself. Cheese doodles are part of an exclusive list of foods that were made by accident, which includes popsicles, ice cream, and potato chips. All great foods deserve a day of observance, so this popular snack has a day to bask in its cheesy glory. Today is also commemorated as National Potty Dance Day in US, which is celebrated on March 5th every year. It is all about movements people make when they need to use the bathroom. This dance is done voluntarily or involuntarily when a person's bladder is full. They move from side to side in an attempt to avoid using the bathroom. The dance is helpful to children because it is a clear signal to the parents that they need to use the restroom. It is a funny dance, but it is also a simple means of communication. Sometimes children may find themselves in situations where they do not feel comfortable verbally expressing their need to use the bathroom. The potty dance is a funny non-verbal way of communicating a need to urinate. It also allows the dancer to wait until they can reach a bathroom. The potty dance can be performed by anyone at any time. Both children and adults do this dance for various reasons. The dance is so popular that songs and videos have been created. Children usually have fun doing the potty dance. It is safe to say that almost everyone has done this dance at some point. People start doing the movements without even realizing it. Today is also commemorated as National Sportsmanship Day in US. Is celebrated on first Tuesday of March every year, and this day has been celebrated since 1991. The International Sports Institute first established National Sportsmanship Day in order to promote good sportsmanship around the country and to set high standards for future generations of athletes. The objective of this day is to tell people about the importance of sportsmanship. It encourages fair play, good etiquette, and good character. This day is to remind athletes and sports fans like that being good at a sport isn't the only important quality of an athlete. Showing good sportsmanship is equally important. Today is also commemorated as National Town Meeting Day in US, which is a community-driven event that takes place every year on the first Tuesday of March, is one of favorite government and state-related national days to observe. This year it falls on March 5th. We appreciate how town meetings can bring communities together, inspire groups of people to overcome challenges and biases, and come to conclusions and resolutions that concern the whole community. The first town meeting took place in Vermont in New England, United States. Town meetings, a type of direct democracy in which community members gather to legislate policy and budgets, have been held in Vermont since 1762. These meetings were so important to the state's history that the Vermont Republic was not formed until 15 years later, and statehood was not granted until 1791. Since town meetings were first established, the first Tuesday of March has become a gathering place for town residents to discuss big and small issues. It has also been called National Town Meeting Day for many years, as it set aside an entire day for these meetings to take place. Many communities still hold in-person meetings to decide on the issues such as school budgets, road maintenance, and non-binding resolutions. Today is also commemorated as Real Film Day in US, which is observed every year on March 5th. The day is celebrated in the US with the film screenings and showcase events organized by independent cinemas across the country. Award shows, trailer launches, movie releases, premieres, parties, and all other social events will be hosted by many from the American film industry. Film fans also enjoy this day by watching as many of these events will be open to the public or televised or simply enjoying their favorite classics with friends and discovering fun trivia surrounding them. Real Film Day is celebrated by cinephiles and just about anyone who enjoys a good movie. Film fans who wish to indulge more in performance criticism and movie star related updates can also see the work of top film journalists from entertainment fraternity. From engineers to technicians and filmmakers, there are countless people who contributed to the invention and production of the 35mm film. The first was Thomas Edison, who invented the camera and projector to shoot films on. Edison's cameras and projectors had a width of 35 mm, which meant they needed film of the same width. Eastman Kodak Company, or simple Kodak's founder, George Eastman, created and produced the film rolls that would eventually be used to make movies. To this day, Kodak supplies the films used for movies. Disney, Paramount, Sony, Pictures Entertainment, Universal, and Warner Bros. Studios came together in 2002 to form the Digital Cinema Initiative, DCI, with the purpose of facilitating the move to digital filmmaking, ensuring a uniform, high level of technical performance, reliability, and quality control. Since the creation of DCI, more movie directors have veered away from traditional film to creating digital movies. So it is important to preserve these historic movies that were shot and displayed on film, and Real Film Day is a day to do just that, a day to commemorate this revolutionary period in entertainment history. It was in the late 19th century the first motion picture was shot on film, The Horse in Motion. Until the 2000s, the 35 mm film was the standard. Kodak and Alamo Drafthouse, famous for being one of the only theaters in the recent times that can run film, came together on March 5th, 2017 to announce the first ever Real Film Day. On that day, Alamo Drafthouse and independent theaters all over the country displayed the beauty of 35 mm film through screenings of a few timeless classics. Part of the proceeds of inaugural observance of the day was donated to the Film Foundation for their film preservation efforts. Today is also commemorated as Unique Names Day in United States. As we are celebrating Unique Name Day on the first Tuesday of the full week of March, this year it falls on March 5th, which is dedicated to those with unique or rare names. It is also for people with names that are hard to pronounce and where people usually ask them how to pronounce their names. Onomatology hobbyist Jerry Hill is behind the origin of this day in 1997. Do you have a unique name or know anyone with a special unique name? Then join us on the interesting day of celebrations. A name is an identity that we will all use to describe ourselves. It is through these labels that we are addressed. But do you have a unique name? We can bet that you probably share your name with a few other people. Most names are common. Names are as old as early humans. But earliest names probably would have been simple sounds that earliest humans used to hear from their surroundings. As language evolves, so do names. Now there are millions of names available. We are also capable of creating names that are unique or rare. So there was a time in history where names sounded almost the same. But as we started to settle down as farming groups around 12,000 years ago, the need to distinguish each person and assign them a role became more important. As a result, more sophisticated names started to appear. The Romans later started using the tria nomina system, which translates to the three names. They used three names in a single name. The system did not survive long, but still shapes the European naming style. So with this, we shall end the commemorations for the day. Thank you everyone for joining us. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls in the platform. And we are also celebrating International Women's Day on March 8th. The registration link has been widely circulated and updated on the website. and on social media platforms, WhatsApp groups. We request everyone to utilize this opportunity and share the registration link and flyer to all your friends, colleagues, students, scholars, especially girls and women, so that they can participate in this wonderful opportunity. You can make a presentation for as little as 1 minute to a maximum of 5 minutes. If you need more time, you can contact us in advance so that we can schedule accordingly. So there is no maximum limit, but if you can ensure that you are taking permission to prayer because others will be waiting, so we can also schedule your sessions accordingly. So basically, this event is to encourage girls and women and also the counterparts males to be the voice for the girls and women for their issues and the solutions. See, we often talk more about issues, problems, but what about the solutions? Who is going to give solutions? Who is going to show solutions? So let's this event address not only just the problems, but also the solutions, or more solution focused rather than problem focused. Or otherwise, also, you can talk about various empowerment issues, developmental issues related to women and girls in terms of arts, culture, traditions, education, employment, training, and so on. Sky is the limit for the topics, and every registered participant and presenter will be getting certificate. And we have simplified the process also. So there is a simple registration form where you can fill up the registration form and provide your details and join the program on 8th March, which is also an auspicious occasion of Mahashivratri, the embodiment of Shiva and God Shiva and Goddess Parvati, truly reflects the theme inclusion. No other God or no other Almighty represents the true essence or reflection of inclusion of both genders, where we see both the goddess Parvati and God Shiva together, sharing half of their image into one, giving equal importance to both the genders in the world. So let's use this wonderful opportunity. We request everyone to share this and let it reach as many people as we can, so that they can utilize this opportunity. And we can use this opportunity as many of us keep awake ourselves in the rituals. Whole day, many of us might be in fasting. And also we can spend whole night also, if there are so many presentations, by enjoying, disseminating information. And it also contributes in our ritual practice of keeping ourselves awake whole night or part of the night as far as the proceedings keep happening. So let's make together this event successful by encouraging more participants and also presenters to join. And as a token of gratitude, we are also giving certificates to everyone, whoever is presenting or participating. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us on this wonderful occasion. And also, there is one more event that is coming up on the occasion of World Social Work Day. This year, it falls on March 19th, that is third Tuesday. Every third Tuesday of March is celebrated as World Social Work Day. So this year, March 19th, Tuesday marks the World Social Work Day. And on occasion of World Social Work Day, we are organizing in 1 week international conference, which will be conducted at the same time at 6 o'clock, as usual, as we have so many working days, so and holidays and other things happening, and various offline events happening. So we thought it would be a better feasible event as requested by many. So we request whoever is interested to make presentations to come forward to register yourself and make presentations and also participate. We request you to spread these both events to your friends, colleagues, students, research scholars, and to the near and dear friends and fraternity, and make this event successful. So thank you once again for joining us. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Take care. Good night.